Welcome to Talking Politics. I am Paul Gable. I'm here with my good friend and co-host John Bond Sr. And today we are hosting Sandy Davis, who's the president and CEO of the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation, to talk to us about what's going on economic development-wise within the county. We'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, and we are in our studio at 605C North Kings Highway in Myrtle Beach. We have Sandy Davis from the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation with us. And Sandy, welcome and thank you for coming.
Thank you.
And also a very early, well, not too early, but a little early, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
It's our Christmas show with you.
I'm
You're going to
so
give us
excited.
a present. Good news. Coming to Horry County.
So if you will,
Sandy.
tell us just a little bit about yourself and how you got involved and how you, I know you were in the corporation for a while and then you became, you were promoted to president and CEO. Just give us a little background.
Okay. In my prior working career,
In my early life.
In my early life, I was at the railroad. And
oh, that's right. I remember hearing that you worked for him.
And during that
Ken.
time, right, I'd worked for Ken Pippin, and the railroad had closed and due to bridge repairs. And the county had formed a group with, it was like 3 counties, Marion County, Horry County, and
Georgetown?
no, I think it was Columbus County. I think there were 3
Columbus
counties
County, wow.
because the railroad runs through Columbus County.
Okay.
So the 3 of those counties, we got together and they invited me to come since I worked at the railroad. I was still there handling, I was the controller, so there were still bills to be handled. And at those meetings, I met economic development because they were one of the ringleaders of the group and trying to figure out how they could keep rail in Horry County and the other counties so that it could help them promote industrial growth. So I guess we had been to 3 or 4 of those meetings and I had spoken at them, and Brad Lofton approached me when he was president and CEO at the Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation and said, I really want you to come work with me. I really want you to come work with me. If I ever have an opening, please apply. Well, it was almost, I guess, 8 months later before I applied for a position that they had, and I took the position as Director of Operations, and that was almost 7 years ago. And from that time, I grew to Vice President and then now CEO.
Let's see, you've gone through Lofton, McKay, I don't remember the other guy's name. He wasn't there a very long time, and then you became the president and CEO.
That's correct.
That says something about the job you're doing as compared to the jobs that they did.
Well, thank you.
That's a plus, what he just said.
Thank you.
He doesn't usually give those compliments.
I'll take that as a Christmas
Wow.
There you go.
It's Christmas.
Well,
Paul is happy.
I'm in the
Oh,
Christmas
my God.
spirit, brother.
Ooh, wow, that's great, Paul.
Ho, ho, ho. Now, seriously, though, there were certainly some major failures. Avcraft being one, which went through not only several CEOs, but also several iterations of the Economic Development Corporation. Started back way when it was called Partners. And then we had Project Blue and some of those. What have you done to change things to make it actually reasonable recruitment as opposed to some of this pie in the sky nonsense that we got tagged with before?
We now do background checks. We have an economic impact study, and we on our background check we do financial and also personal background. So if there is anything that comes up that presents a red flag, county council knows about it at any time. They can say, no, we do not want that project. We have done that since I've been there at least 3 times. Sometimes you have to be very careful. Companies that are looking to move one area, maybe more than just, because they're looking to expand it, maybe they were actually going to close, which we have seen.
That California company, or was it Arizona that came over here?
It was, yes, it was.
Well, look, you threw that out. What are you talking about so people don't know what you're talking about? Arizona, what are you talking about?
I forget the name of it. They were in the education field.
They were a call center.
They were a call center in the education field.
That's correct.
And they had run out of money.
And they wanted to come here.
Well, they not only came here, they opened and closed their office within
3
about
weeks.
I
month.
knew it was within a month, and we wound up with a lot of people on unemployment.
Well, you weren't involved in that, were you?
We were involved in that.
I mean, you personally?
Yes. I was working at the
Well,
EDC.
did you
at
do
that
She
your
was
time.
check?
there, but she was
Yes.
not the
Did
CEO
you do
at the
your due
time.
diligence,
We
like
did.
you just said?
We did, but this is what happened. This is something else you don't know sometimes whenever you're with a project. So you always have to, hold your breath sometimes and hope for the best. But one thing that we have
Okay,
changed.
exhale now and tell us.
Okay, one thing that we have changed is the incentive process. So the company did not receive any incentives. Now you have to open and we have to have your quarterly wage reports showing that you actually paid the people. Well, of course, we never got that from them. But this company was looking to expand. They did have good financials. They were not in that much of a heartache. But
They had just lost contracts, though, hadn't they, Sandy? Or they were in the process of losing contracts?
they were selling. So the company that was buying them was not, they were not going to keep all facilities. But we did not know that at the time.
Right.
So once the new company purchased, then they said we're not going to be keeping the office that they were closing to move here. They were keeping one of their 3 locations, but not these. So these were going to close either way.
How about that gun manufacturer company that went over into, was it Conway they went
Aner.
to Conway? And Aner.
PTR?
Yeah.
So you see a signal to,
Yes, I'm
well,
not
that's
sure what
Paul
the
was
signal's
talking
for.
about.
Yeah,
I asked a question.
Normally we
was
got a
signal.
small sign. I was so ignoring
Paul,
it. We got the big wave,
please.
but
Please,
we
Paul.
have to take a break
It's
and let our
Christmas,
sponsors
Paul.
speak. We'll be
It's
back in a moment.
Christmas.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a server at Brothers Grill, and as a server here, I like to make sure everybody has amazing service and good fresh food every single day. We serve lunch and dinner from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m., our happy hours from 4 to 7, and we're located on 5900 North Kings Highway. Follow us on Facebook at Brothers Grill Myrtle Beach.
This was one of my greatest accomplishments, to be awarded the Restaurateur of the Year in 2016, not only for Myrtle Beach, which I won the first segment, and then it goes to the state of South Carolina. So to go up against cities like Charleston and Spartanburg and Greenville, it was an amazing thing, and I'm still in awe and amazed that it happened. If you've never been to my restaurant, I'd like to welcome you here because I think we do an excellent job and you'll enjoy the service and atmosphere at Angelo's.
Well, welcome back. We have Sandy Davis from Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation, and right before the break, we were just beginning to talk about PTR industry, so we'll shift it to you and let you go with it.
Okay. PTR is a gun company. They have been open for over, I guess, around 7 years now, too. In the Aner area, they're in our Cool Springs Park. Currently, they are the only company that is in the Cool Springs Park, but
Isn't that a shame?
it's going to be
We
changing.
Yeah, I know.
2020.
Under your leadership, it has to be.
We do have some people
Can you
reviewing
tell us
a
about
contract.
it? Who's maybe interested in going there, so we get all
Well,
excited?
They are both industrial. One's a small industrial existing industry in Horry County that has been looking to move more out to the inner
western
area.
part?
But what are
Right.
the pros? What are the incentives you can give them for that particular park?
They're actually, this existing industry is a smaller company. They will not be eligible for any
But did you fix
incentives,
the
but
roads there? You got
the roads are fixed.
plumbing. You got the sewerage in,
The
the
park
water.
is ready.
and-
The park is ready for them to break ground. Everything has already been
How
taken
about
care of.
transportation? Isn't that one of the problems we have around here with transportation, the trucks that coming in and out and so forth? Isn't that one of the things that the companies coming in, relocating, want to talk about? How are they going to ship their goods out?
I don't have a lot of problems with goods. It's my biggest transportation issue is usually what companies, how they feel about their workers, especially if they're closing their current facility and moving here, and they're going to bring some of their existing workers with them. Is bus transportation, since we don't have subways here. I get a lot of those
Well, does
issues on
Coastal come out
transportation.
today? You do make a deal with Coastal, RTA?
Excuse me. We do talk with Coast
Okay.
RTA some, but
That's his favorite organization.
okay.
Paul he loves Coastal. He loves public conveyance. Look at that face. He's not like Santa Claus, is he? Huh? Does he look like Santa? He doesn't.
John can take a fact and so convolute it
Okay, come on,
that
go
you
back.
don't even recognize it. Now,
Let's
let's
take
go
it
back to
on
you.
Christmas.
I'm looking at people are looking at your face. That's what I'm saying. All right, go ahead, finish.
So I think that's an issue that we work on. Worksman Cycles, the bicycle company in Conway, they have been working with Coast RTA, and some of their employees ride the buses. But I guess one of the biggest things for us is picking up the employees from their house and getting them to the location, since they're not within distance to walking to a particular bus stop. So that is
And
one
have
of
the labor
things.
pool.
That's
and
right.
have the labor pool for that particular company that's coming here.
We do have that, and that's one of the things that we do for companies now. I don't think this has always been done previously either, but we have the companies send us their major job descriptions. So I'm not talking about if they're going to hire 1 or 2 people for a specific job, but say you're going to need 20 fabricators. They send us the skills. We contact SC Works. SC Works looks into their system and tells us they run a report for us that will tell us how many qualified employees they have with those skills in a certain area.
And you have also, at times, I believe, and this even predates this iteration of Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development, but Horry Georgetown has done some special programs or special training
With welders.
for different things. I know Dan Gray and the welders way back. My goodness, that must be 40 years ago.
Our advanced manufacturing facility, the new facility just opened. It was previously in the existing facility, but now they've moved across the road, and it's a $14 million facility. They had Lincoln and Miller, the 2 biggest welding manufacturers, joined together to provide their equipment for Horry Georgetown Tech students, and that has been huge. That has actually helped me recruit 2 of the industries that we've recruited. They came in, toured that facility, talked with 2 of the amazing leaders over there, Brandon Hazelden and Jeff Ball, and they have been able to really sell companies on the skills we have. It seems like more north they have these skills and they have these same programs, but they do not seem to have the students.
A lot of them are moving down here, so the skills
They are
coming
moving
they're
here.
coming about now. you know.
That's right, but the students are not signing up for their program like they are here at ours. At the Conway campus, there's a waiting list to get into the advanced manufacturing program.
Well, Murph, the president of Horry Georgetown Tech, she's aggressive. She keeps up with the
She's very aggressive.
job market here, and she tries to set up programs within the technical college that she's in charge of to meet the needs of today's businesses here in Horry County, which is a plus.
That is a very big plus.
We're happy to have her. She's really a terrific young lady.
She is awesome, and she tells our companies too. Whenever they recruit, when we're trying to recruit someone, if you see the equipment in here and it is not, if you're going to hire a lot of people and this is not the only thing you need, if you need something additional, if you'll let us know, we'll work on getting that to help you as well. So it's been really great.
Well, all these are positive. You have that Aero Park over at the Market Commons. That's really growing. A lot of, I see a lot of construction going on there.
The VA hospital.
Do we
is
have?
coming in.
We don't have any aviation industries in there, though, do we?
We have aviation industries at the airport location.
But I'm
not
talking about
actually on
that aero
ITAP.
park.
And there is a reason. I will tell you, that park, we recently found out when we were getting the land released for the VA hospital, that you can no longer buy the parcels, not even an aviation company. The FAA has restrictions on that property.
Yes, they
and
do.
They will no longer allow it to be sold. You can only lease the land.
Good Lord.
Well, you see, that park was the original location of the West Side Terminal.
You mean Doug Wendell's? Way back when B&C or
And it was
Burroughs and
bought.
Chapin?
It was bought by
That
with
parcel
FAA
right there?
funds.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. Here, look. Let's
didn't
get
know
back
that.
into that a little bit more. We got to take a break. I actually saw the
See, now
signal
he
this
does
time,
that.
so there
He
you go.
accused me.
Hey man, I'm on my way to the finest place for everyone to play, where the drinks are cool and the sun is hot, and the Merle's Inlet's Marsh Walk.
Enjoy spectacular waterfront dining and live music with breathtaking saltwater marsh views at the Merle's Inlet Marsh Walk. Marsh Walk, where the view, the music, and the fun are always free. Marsh Walk, Highway 17 Business, Waterfront, Merle's Inlet.
Well, welcome back. We are here in our third and final segment of the show with Sandy Davis from
We're talking
Florida
about,
Beach
you're
Regional
talking about
Economic-
airlines, airports, and so forth and so on. Well, what's going to happen to the old terminal, the airport terminal that's abandoned now? Do you know what's going to happen to that?
I am not
Is there any
sure what's
plans?
gonna- I am not. Usually the airport handles that, and then if it
Yeah,
has...
but do you know of any feelers that they have out there? Don't they
I do not.
coordinate with you to try to ask you to help them?
Not usually with the
I mean-
terminal. Every once in a while, we have discussed once some possible businesses going in there as far as offices who may need to rent a facility that would need to be close to the airport, but there is not anything that we have recruited for them at
One
this
of my
time.
neighbors is a pilot for FedEx. They operate out of that airport. It would be ideal if they took over that old terminal. Wouldn't you think?
That sounds
Wouldn't
like
it
a
be
great
nice?
idea.
Well, Paul made us some interesting facts that I didn't know, and which you didn't know either, about snow plows, Paul. You want to tell us about that? 19 snow plows.
No, it's not 19. I think it's 14.
18?
I think it's 14.
14?
I had a picture of them one
20?
time that I ran in the newspaper back when I was still with the newspapers.
Are they still there, though?
Oh, yeah, because they were bought with money from the FAA. Now, here's the best part about it.
Oh, God.
The airport, and this is the kind of stuff that you got to be aware of with your job. The airport wanted maintenance trucks, stuff they could drive around, do maintenance around in different areas of the airport.
Is Johnny Gardner aware of that?
Oh my! This goes back.
Johnny.
This goes back to 2004, 2005, something like that.
2004. Oh, God.
So they couldn't justify. You can't. With the FAA, they won't provide maintenance.
But where's
trucks.
the snow, Paul?
Well, you won't provide. They won't provide maintenance, right? It's supposed to be the airport. So Bob come up with the idea that we would apply for snowplows, and when we applied for snowplows, we used the statistics and pictures from the 1989 snowstorm we had when we got 18 inches on the beach. You remember? We used those pictures 15 years later to justify our request for snowplows. So we got snowplows. But here's the thing.
Sandy, so you know
They
we have
can't be
snow
used for anything else. It's illegal to use it because they were bought with an
I
FAA
understand
grant for
that.
this, and they can't be used outside
That's-
the airport. It's not like we could plow roads outside the airport with them. It's restricted. So I remember when Liz Gillen was trying to justify it back when she was chairman of county
Oh,
council.
my
She said,
God.
well, you know, we have snow.
yeah, right.
We'll be able to get people in the airport. And I wrote an article and
Liz,
said,
come
yes,
on.
we will, but we won't be cleaning the roads outside, so they'll be stuck there. That's the kind of nonsense we have pulled through the years and things.
Oh, my God.
Now that I bored you enough, I'm shut up.
You didn't bore
Sandy,
it. It
tell
was
us
very-
more
it was
about
very
the
fun.
aviation park.
We are currently looking for any aviation industries who want to lease land because it is lease land only. Sometimes it can be a little bit of an obstacle to try to find a company who is willing to build their own building on land that they can only sign a 25-year lease on. So that is currently one of our hurdles that we're hoping to overcome.
Gee, that's...
See, it's federal government-owned land because it was bought with an FAA lease or an FAA grant.
Yeah, but
It's
you
not
can't buy
owned
it.
by the county, and if the company were to buy it, they have to negotiate with the FAA, which really doesn't want to negotiate. That's the problems in there with all this kind of crazy stuff that you get.
Myrtle Beach, the city of Myrtle Beach is involved in that as well, aren't they?
Yes, we
Well,
usually
they-
It's the land's right there in Myrtle Beach.
It's
Well,
owned.
they
It's
stopped
in Myrtle Beach.
They stopped the expansion at one time because they said they didn't live up to the community appearance board.
That was the West Side Terminal.
Yeah, which they didn't approve. They turned down. So, but what are some of the interesting projects that you're working on that seem to be ready for a contract?
And you can talk generically because I know you don't want to give specifics,
Right.
maybe.
We do have a metal powder manufacturer that is looking to come to the area. We will probably announce them no later than February. That is one of the companies that I said earlier that would go to the Cool Springs Park. They are looking at that park. The park drew their attention because of kind of what you mentioned earlier about are the roads in place, infrastructure in place. Everything is ready at the Cool Springs Park, and that was a draw to them versus some of our other parks like Ascot Valley. That is where the old Conway Mill textile plant used to be. We are working on that park. It's owned by Santee Cooper. Santee Cooper's put a lot of money into that park and trying to get it up and ready so we can use it as an industrial park, but it is not ready compared to what we have at Cool Springs.
And we're just about out in the Atlantic Center, aren't we? I mean, that's
Atlantic Center is
Well,
full.
John
Full.
Rose, the
Technoware.
former mayor of Myrtle Beach, bought a big chunk of property over at the old mill there we have in, and he wants to put in some type of entertainment and games and so forth. Are you aware of that?
Are you talking about the old pottery?
what he's talking about, yeah.
Okay.
Where he bought that chunk of land owned by the Russians.
I am not aware of what he is doing there, but I am aware of one of the, like kind of across from the UPS that's there now, that strip mall there, kind of higher ceilings where the fire was last year.
Yeah.
E.F. Hucks and Company, they are working on making that an industrial building. So we have been working with them. It's going to have, I think that has about 300,000 square feet.
Wow.
And they are dividing it up into about 5 different parcels.
Do you have a budget where you go out to various areas and try to entice people to relocate here
We
in
do.
Horry County?
We do have a lead
Well, how do you
generation
do
prospect
that? How do you
development.
go about? You put it in magazines and then they ask you to come by and speak to them? They're
We-
interested, or just how do you work that?
We use private funds for all of that. We usually have a contract. The lead generation company, we target a certain area that we're seeing a lot of interest from, either on our website or by things that we've mailed out. We do have a few things in Area Development Magazine and Business Industry running right now, which was a partnership between Myrtle Beach Regional EDC, the Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce, and also the Northeastern Strategic Alliance Group, NISA. So between the funds from the 3 of us, we have been able to get a little bit of marketing on their web pages and also in their books. I can track that on my website to see who it brought direct from those ads. But we seem to get the most return by using a company that when we target, let's just say we're targeting New York, they contact about 1,500 companies, and we actually go in and meet with the companies when I'm there over a week period. And that is actually how Worksman Cycles, the bicycle manufacturer, was recruited. And Technoware, that took the last 9.4 acres that we owned
At
in
the
the
Atlantic.
Atlantic Center.
Now
We recruited them the same way.
You went to New York?
I went to New York.
Well, you don't do that in the wintertime, do you, Sam?
I did do that in the winter.
That's not a good move. You never go north in the winter.
I actually did have a snow day
Well, she
while
can
I was
entice
there.
them by telling them we have snowplows.
I did
At the airport.
at the airport. Look, if anyone's airport closes during the snowstorm, LaGuardia does.
Well, you know, areas that would be considered to come down here, like Detroit,
Toronto.
Cleveland, and the like. And Toronto?
Toronto,
Canada.
likes it, yes.
You got your passport?
Yes, I have my
Oh,
passport.
fine. Okay, you're traveling, right?
I travel.
Have passport, we'll travel.
That's right.
So long as you want to come to Horry County.
Well, look, on that note, we have to break. We have to
Well, I
cut
have
it.
2 more questions.
Well, we're out of time, John. And you always have questions, and we're always out of time. There's
Because
nothing I
you
can do about that.
filibuster and you don't give me
But
a chance to
Sandy,
answer questions.
thank you for joining us. And again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you and your family, and all those people over at Myrtle Beach Regional Economic Development Corporation.
Thank you. Thank you both
And
for
I share
having
my
me.
same thoughts.
And Merry Christmas.
Would you say it? Ho, ho, ho. Okay.
Ho, ho, ho. Merry
Oh, wow. Isn't that great?
That's it. We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us.
This was one of my greatest accomplishments, to be awarded the Restaurateur of the Year in 2016, not only for Myrtle Beach, which I won the first segment, and then it goes to the state of South Carolina. So to go up against cities like Charleston and Spartanburg and Greenville, it was an amazing thing, and I'm still in awe and amazed that it happened. If you've never been to my restaurant, I'd like to welcome you here because I think we do an excellent job and you'll enjoy the service and atmosphere at Angelo's.